In this video, I'm going to be going through some of the designs from my contest and announcing the winners of the $250. Now I said I'm going to be going through some of the designs because I promised I would get this video out this week, and I've been recording and editing for I can't even tell you how long, and I think I've gone through about 50 something designs and we had about 130 submissions. Even though some of your designs are not in this video, I did take them into consideration for the top spots. So don't worry about that you missed out because I didn't see it or something, because I saw all of them. I appreciate you guys for submitting in all of y'all's graphics. It was super cool. There was some very awesome work in this contest. But without further ado, let's get into the video. First up, we have Noles GFX with the super sick shy graphic, and I love the secondary picture he decided to use, and also the split tone effect with the blue on the left and the white on the right. With these assets, makes it look really good. I do think some more detail in here could definitely enhance this graphic, like maybe a low opacity city in the background and some things floating in the foreground maybe. And then with the lightning eyes, I think it is a good idea, but I think it could be sort of worked on a little bit better, but overall great graphic. Next up, we have Wolf Graphics with an insane composition, and I think this landscape really does a great job at pointing your eyes towards the center, towards Shy, and obviously the colors, the lighting, and the split tone effect of those colors are really great. What I would say is this orange and blue I think clash a little bit in the middle, and they could be blended out a little bit more and sort of be more coherent together, as well as this lighting right behind Shy looks a little bit too artificial, and you can maybe have some more natural looking lighting in there. But overall, absolutely insane graphic right here. Now we have Only Dennis Designs with this more stormy piece, and you can see these pieces floating right here in the foreground. Really gives the image some depth. I love this palm tree stormy vibe he has going. I would say since it is stormy, you might want to make the sky a little bit darker, and that would in turn make some of the landscape a little bit more darker, so a bit more contrast in this piece. Next up, this is our first hockey design from MPD Graphics, and you're going to see this composition used throughout of him sort of in the ocean with this kraken, and it was probably the composition I would go for as well, and you can see he executed it very well with that kraken in the back and the hockey pucks floating around. I will say I think some of the shadows are a bit harsh, like on our player right here on our left side, you can see the shadows. They're a bit harsh and I think maybe too dark. And then in the foreground with this tentacle, I think you could have added some blur right here to really give it some more depth. Next up, for our first baseball design, we have Ryoki with this nice piece right here, and you can see the custom surfboard and this flyer in the back. And these extra elements I think really give nice detail to this piece. I would say maybe some more pop in this graphic would be nice, and some more maybe dramatic lighting to bring focus more in towards the player. Now for Hype Designs LLC, going for a nice composition we haven't really seen yet. I love how the graphic sort of flows in one direction and he's going opposite of it. It really gives a nice contrast with the blue in the back and the orange you can see just pop out of this image. With the smoke, I think it could have some color. You possibly could have made the smoke a tint of blue maybe, and have that lightning sort of lighting up that smoke over there. Next we have Madge Designs, and I love the custom text back there, the glowy text, and then the hologram sort of around his wrist right there. With these rocks, obviously the text giving glow to the rocks looks very nice. I think some more color to this piece might bring it a little bit more life. And then also, I think you could have raised the opacity. I think that's the stadium in the back. I think you could have made that more prominent, and it might even liven up the piece a little bit. Now for Elghost 43, he has this really nice cyberpunk look going. I love this colorway. We haven't really seen it yet. With the sort of cyberpunk scene he's in, I think it works really well. As for the theme, I think you could have added a little bit more things to do with basketball or thunder, lightning, whatever the case may be. But overall, an awesome piece. Next we have EV Designs, and I think this glow right behind him, this orange glow as well as the text with the texture looks very nice. I do think up in the top how it sort of fades to black, we could maybe have some more detail in there, like a nice sky to produce a different color. Now for D94 Zion, I love this layout of the players, and I think the picture of him holding it back gives a really nice perspective to this, and also the text colors work really well. I would not have thought to use these colors, but it definitely feels very beachy. And also the flag in the top right is a nice detail. The cutout of the head in the back I think is a bit dark, and the yellow highlights look a bit harsh on that. But other than that, I think it's a great design. Next we have JJY Design with this Tatis design. The palm trees with the blur really brings a lot of depth to the image, and I like the player treatment on it, and then the signature right here also gives a nice touch. As for critiques, I think the skin is a bit yellow, and I think a pop of another color maybe could have brought some more life into this design. But overall, great graphic. Now for Guapo, I love this like lightning sword that he is holding, and also with the statue in the back. I've tried to make a statue before and it is not easy, and he made that look very realistic. I think that at the bottom here, this lightning looks like it could be a bit too much, and maybe either sort of tone that lightning down a little bit or you add some more in the middle so it sort of balances out. And then in the background we have very blue tones, but in this foreground we have super red tones. So maybe color match those, but overall I love the idea and execution of this graphic. Up next we have Design by Davey with the Shai Gilgeous graphic, and this is a beautiful graphic with beautiful colors. I love the blues and orange and the overall setup, the comic book feel, even with this thunder text sort of dispersing out the side and all the shapes. As for critiques, I think the statistics text and even his name could be placed better / more of a font, and maybe even have some effects on the text so it sort of fits in with the graphic a little bit more. And then the logo up at the top, I don't know if I would put that behind him or if it looks good blended in. Honestly, I can't really tell. Maybe you did experiment with putting it behind him, but yeah, great graphic overall. Here we have C13 Creative with a really cool idea of all the teams from the West in the NBA, and then the Wild Wild West theme. Obviously, I love the trophy, and just the overall idea is very unique and cool. If I made this graphic, I would probably make the players a little bit more coherently placed and not so like dispersed, if you know what I mean. And then some of the lighting, like on the very front here, I feel like it should be a little bit darker, but overall, great graphic. At this point in the video, I stopped doing critiques on some of the designs just because I didn't want this video to be 50 minutes long. Hopefully you guys can just skim through way easier and find your designs and what I have to say about them. If I do see something I notice that can make the design better, I think, then I will point that out. Next we have MCB Exclusive with this nice Tatis design. You can see the beach theme works very well here, especially with the little mountain in the back. I really like how the sun gives that orange haze to it. Next we have FLVGFX with the Patrick Mahomes graphic, and he brought in these green tones that we haven't seen yet on a Patrick Mahomes graphic, and I think the sky and these overlays look really good. Now for Ollie visuals, we have this nice picture of this archway and the stadium in the back, and then the lens flare I think on this looks really nice, and then the stadium in the back obviously. And then these items that are on this bench over here, I think the lighting is really good on those, and those look very realistic, so overall, great piece right here. Next we have Chelsea Lewis graphics with this cool halftone effect on this Patrick Mahomes graphic. I like how the halftone fades but the number and the name stays the same. I think that looks pretty cool. Great job. Next is Shad.FC, and with this picture with the players sort of lying down, and then Patrick Mahomes has the Chiefs gear like the pickaxe and the arrows and whatnot. I think this color grading goes really well for going for an apocalyptic feel, so great job on this one. Now we have Drew's visuals with this nice Western graphic. I like the text at the top. I think it actually fits in well. The font works well with this country Western vibe we have, and then the cactus in the foreground. And then the players on the horses are actually like very well blended. I think they actually look like they're sitting on the horses, so great job. Now we have an awesome graphic from FGRico.graphics. Sorry if I butchered that name. But I love that the football and the helmet in the bottom right and bottom left, they guide your eyes up towards the player. And I also love the sky in this one in a pink color tone. Just looks very good. Great job. Next we have a very cool concept from EKN CRV. And these hologram Lombardi trophies just look super cool. I haven't seen anybody really showcase his trophies like this. So great job with this one as well. Next we have Valley Edits with another concept we haven't really seen before. It's a very futuristic graphic, and I really love his visor and how you made everything just super futuristic. Even the tentacles that glow on the floor, everything just looks really nice in this graphic. Next is Ferris F Designs, and I think this graphic has a really cool perspective, and I love the lightning and the lighting it gives onto the player, and then the orange highlights in there as well, and this perspective just looks really cool. Biff Designs with this really clean concept and this clean design right here. I love how it's super simplistic, and the bar at the top is just ties it all in, and I think it just looks really nice with all the drop shadows. You can really see all the layers on top of each other. Great job. Next is Jolson Designs with another really cool concept with these cards and the signature over top with these rings floating around, and then the text is also super clean. Now we have Caleb C Edits with this super sick design. I would have never thought to make the lightning, show the skeleton like you'll see in some like cartoons and stuff. I think that's a really cool idea. And if you look at the scene looks insane with this water and this light, and this jungle he's walking through really looks really good and really well incorporated. Next we have Paulo Edits with this super clean design. This yellow strip really just makes the whole piece pop. And I love this. You guys can see over on this right side, this sort of red dash he has going on with the 3 colors that are used in the color scheme. Also the typography and the font choice is just A1. Next we have Ty Design with this Thor poster. I love the custom text for the title. And then the cape right there looks really nice, and the Thor antagonist back there. Very nice detail. DG_design brought us this really clean graphic with this shy text. I love the text and the overlay on it and the gradient. I do think you could add a little bit more detail in the background, like maybe a lower opacity city. That's what I like to do sometimes, to add more detail to a flat background. And I think the basketballs maybe could have been more 3D, but other than that, great design. Next we have Philip Tran Graphics with this nice Tatis design. I love this perspective of him being up on the hill and how you found images of, like, say above the city or above the stadium and matched them to fit the perspective. I do think the mountain in the foreground is a bit too blurry, as well as his feet, and then some of the lens flares could look a little bit better, but overall great job. Next we have a beautiful design from Ian Visuals. I love the colors here and how the logo fits in so seamlessly, and then the texture on the text as well as all these patterns just looks super nice. Great design. Ish Design brought us this amazing perspective right here with this rain. I love the splatters and that detail on the puddle. You can see the rain hitting the ground right there. One thing I would say is I think some of the whites on Shy and maybe in the sky are a little bit too bright, but other than that one critique, I think this is an amazing design. Now for Den's Design 8, we have an amazing design with this super futuristic city in the back, and I love the foreground elements here, and then the staff giving off that light with all the rain as that extra detail, and then you can see his reflection and just the lighting overall. You can also see he changed the face, and the glow coming off the numbers works really well. A very beautiful design right here. Next up we have Painted Sports with a nice heavenly design. I like the wings and how they look like they're actually blended in well. One thing I would say about this is the trees could be cut out a little bit better, I think, and then blending in the sky with these clouds and sort of fading them out more might help bring this design to life a little bit more, but overall great design. Now for Rosillo, we have a nice another cyberpunk theme, and this is a very nice design. I love the lighting, and I think the smoke off the eyes actually works pretty well. And I think for the lightning, it feels a little bit sporadic, and maybe adding a stormy sky and having the lightning come out, or sort of having a place for the lightning to come from, would look very good, but great job overall. Now we have a very cool idea and execution from Drew Holton Designs. I like the idea here, and I think the rocks look really nice, and Tom Brady's lighting looks very good as well. And the floating rocks behind Patrick Mahomes also works very well. I think one thing I would like to see in this design is a little bit more contrast. So a little bit more shadows on the rocks and a little bit more highlights all around. But overall, very great design. Now for RLG and Gallery, I love this split tone effect you have on our player. So the left side is this yellow and the right side is the blue. And I think the lightning dispersing off of him actually looks very nice. As well as this guy has a nice tone. I think on these backmost mountains here, we have this sort of blue haze. I think maybe an orange haze would have tied it together better. Next we have Longhorn Football edits, and I believe he edits on the phone, so good job on that. I wouldn't even know where to begin on the phone. I could not make something even close to this, but great job on that. I like the light ray and how it's sort of revealing the logo right here, and also the text looks super cool. I think the player treatment may be just a bit too much, so a little bit too much effect on the player, but other than that, great job. Now for JF.Visuals 8, I love this revealing effect. We haven't really seen it before, but I've seen it in a few movie posters, and I like how you use the orange and blue from the Thunder to sort of have these two revealing parts with the two pictures of Shy in the back. Just looks really nice. Now, Acute Designs brings us a super clean piece. It just looks super dynamic. I love how everything is flowing. You can see the pucks and the motion blur on everything is flowing in that one direction. The colors look very nice, and overall, just this is a great graphic right here. FTB Designs brings us a super nice graphic. I love this composition here and how everything is sort of gigantic. You know, there's a big sword and the big NBA trophy. Very interesting. We haven't seen something quite like this yet, and I think the composition is just very clean. I think some of the lightning is a bit distracting, and maybe you could have blended it in, maybe putting it into the sky or putting a different color grading on it to sort of make it blend in with the graphic a little bit more. Other than that though, great design. Now we have Blu.Designs with an awesome concept and awesome execution on this graphic, playing into the very relevant MVP race that Shai Gilgeous is a top contender in. So I love this graphic. I love that, you know, he's in front of the race, how you use the pose to have him running towards the trophy. I just think it's a really cool concept. Great job. Next we have FMM Graphic Design with this super cool concept, super unique. I love the comic book feel and how he hand drew the players. Just super unique. Really love the style. Great job, man. MP Designs with another super clean design. I love how the logo fades in the back and this white to cyan to darker blue gradient in the middle. Looks super good. And then the red pop from the last name and then that stripe right there just really makes it pop and come to life. Next we have Valiant GRFX with this super clean concept. Super clean design, very well executed. The tentacles really have that dynamic feeling of wrapping around him, and the color scheme works very well as well. We haven't seen this color scheme with this player yet. Usually they use the blue and pinks, but I think this actually works really good, so great job with this one. Now we have Showtime Designs, and he did a very good job at really creating this drop off from this ledge. Putting the clouds below this sort of ledge that he's standing on really gives it the feeling that it's deep, and it's just deep down there. Also the sky, the lights in the sky look very good, and the lighting on our player looks good as well, so great job. Next, I'll be going through my top 5 honorable mentions. So these are designs that are super insane and just barely got beat out for the top 3 spot. These are in no specific order, by the way, but first we have at MLW_visuals. Next is at Valiant_GRFX. Now at DSGN by Davey. At AQ Designs. And at Ian Visuals. Now let's get into our top 3 designs. For our number 3 design and our winner of $35, we have Paulo Edits. Paulo gave us a super clean design with super cool colors. The red tones in the sky and scene really get complemented by the yellow strip. The lighting on our players looks really great from that sunset, and even the little things like the grain in the sky and the texture on this piece is just great and is well deserving of our number 3 spot. In our number 2 spot, we have Den's Design 8. This piece was just super clean overall, from the haze in the back and the blue city and how it sort of fades and gives that glow, and how he's up here overlooking the city with his staff that gives a reflection onto the floor and the reflection of him on the ground as well, with these wires blurred in the foreground giving that perspective. Overall, super clean piece and well deserving of our number 2 spot. Now, for our first place and $150 winner, we have Wolf_graphics. This piece he made is just absolutely insane. It's like he created a whole new world here with these spiky rocks, and then he has the dragons up top. Just a completely new scene. The coloring is insane. The lighting is crazy. And overall, I just love this image. I feel like I'm really being thrown into like a movie or something where they just created a new world and we're just sort of getting a glance into it. Overall, this challenge was super fun, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed participating in it. I feel like a lot of people really leveled up and got super creative with their entries, and I was super happy to see everyone's designs they made. In the future, we're probably going to do one of y'all turning an athlete into a movie poster. I think that would be pretty fun, and people can get pretty creative with that. Stay tuned for my next video, hopefully dropping in a few weeks. But until then, I'll see you guys. Peace.